playing in the street. Worn clothes, no shoes on his feet. Little boy never.
Welcome to
We're
Backseat
live.
Therapy, everybody. Jon is in California this month doing some stuff out
Yeah.
there. Tell us what you're doing, Jon.
Yeah, I've been hanging out here doing some shows, but mainly the reason why I'm out here is every year, I gotta take those off, I'm working. Every year we do a benefit that we want to bring awareness to the local community in my hometown of Bakersfield, California. And I partnered up with my good friend, Mr. Randy Martin, that you see right here below me. And it was a Covenant Community Concert, and it's for aged out foster youth of Kern County. And it's a benefit that we do to try to bring more awareness to the plight of all these kids that are in the system, the foster care system, and they turn 18. They're going to be aged out, and I'm happy to have Randy with us today, Randy Martin of Covenant Community Services, because he's the one that founded him and his wife Kim started this organization, and I was very fortunate a few years ago to meet him and start this project with him. So that's what I'm doing in California. And every year we do this, and we'll do it again next year, March 8th, Saturday, March 8th. We'll do the fourth annual Covenant Community Concert for aged out foster youth here in Kern County.
Awesome.
So with that being said,
are you also in the coffee shop? Is that your coffee shop that I hear about?
who,
Yes.
Randy?
Yeah, so we have Covenant Coffee as well.
Yeah, awesome, man. So yeah, tell us a little bit about your organization and how people can help.
Yeah, so we launched in got some really big traction about 2001, started doing foster care, taking children from pretty bad situations and placing them with really good families, and that led to adoption. And then we got involved with aged out youth as some of the kids we worked with got older. We always said, come back if you need anything. So when they turned 18, they came back looking for help. And so we launched some other programs. The first one was called Building Blocks in 2007. It was a 12-unit apartment complex in Bakersfield that we took over the management of and just placed youth there and starting educational stuff. And then that led to job skills training. And that's when we launched Covenant Coffee in 2008, which is we roast our own coffee beans. Orphan Jon has his own private label rock star concert blues guy coffee. And
There you go.
you can buy online. And we have a brick and mortar coffee house here. Chef coming in, doing some great food stuff. We do some private catering, office delivery stuff, lunches and breakfast there. And we roast our own coffee, package and sell it all around the nation, subscriptions. And
Awesome.
there we teach them life skills, mentoring, and all that good stuff. So that's Covenant. We work with about 120 aged out youth, 18 to 25 every day. We have about 5 housing programs now, and Jon got to tour a couple of them on his visit. Converted an old church built in 1954 to 1 bedrooms and studios, and then converted an old office space into 14 that'll come online probably in the next week or so, and that's more dormitory style. But yeah, tons of fun, not without its challenges, as you can imagine. Great stuff though, and just happy to be in a partner coming in and raising awareness and singing and dancing and gyrating to the masses to help them come on out. And
Exactly.
Good partner in Jeff Salters. One of his buddies growing up is a very successful barbecue businessman. He also helps out and participates. But Jon really spearheaded the idea, and we were just crazy enough to say yes. So we've been having some fun. But thanks for having me on today.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. So for me, adoption led to fostering, and we have a child in our home right now that is kind of just an emergency placement kind of deal. We don't know what's happening with him yet, but he came down hanging out with us a little bit, and sounds like there's a huge need out there in Bakersfield for what you're doing. You guys sound like you're expanding and working with a lot of youth.
So the statistics are waiting out there for youth faith. So we launched because basically the Bible says that true religion is that you minister orphans in their time of need, and And then working with youth, just seeing the lack of hope and genuine love and appreciation of that. So kind of founded everything and up or Hope Lives Here, and on the belief that God loves everybody and loves these youth that have had such a hard way, that and the promise is, that he's not evil and he's not nasty and he's not out there to get you, but he's got good plans for you. So we find our role just to come alongside them, do life in a different way. You don't have to be homeless, addicted to drugs, incarcerated, beat your kids, have them removed from you, be addicted to various substances or things. And you don't have to have this life of domestic violence and tragedy. You can change your future. And you don't do it by looking in the past. So we help them and drama to get to a more level place. And then we really start developing the inner potential in them, calling those things out we see that are really good, and helping them see that there is positive things and traits of character and compassion and kindness and goodness and all those, to keep them from following the path of their family. And so we see that as, following the mission of restoring lives to transform generations. And now
I think
we've been doing it long enough, we get to see that.
Right. I think we have a real opportunity in doing the work that we're doing, and that you're doing out there, to really break a generational cycle, like you know what I mean? Those generational
100%.
cycles that just kind of go down. And I mean, a parent that's unable or unwilling in some cases is only really going to pass that on to their kids, and then the kids are going to grow up to be those unwilling or unable parents, maybe. So maybe by taking these kids into a different family life, maybe that's able to break some of those cycles, I hope.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that's key. Good foster parents are critical. Unfortunately, our world is full of people that have bad juju and bad thoughts. And so historically around the nation, some foster parents have just been in it for the wrong reasons, for the money. And so when that happens, the kids that we end up with are kids that didn't have some of them with them. Our own stayed with us till he was 26. Normal biological children are with their parents now all the time. So it's ironic that when we say as a state or a nation, we're going to take care of these people and parent them, we just get rid of them at 18 or at 21 and say, hey, you're on your own, go figure it out. Well, that has happened in their past.
Yeah.
So that's the sad part, is that there's still nefarious characters out there that end up in a place where they should be providing more safety and help, actually create more wounds. And so Jon's met some great people and heard testimonies. And, when we do the concert and some of the testimonies, but when Jon does some private meetings with them, you find out a girl's been raped the first time by her uncle and then put in foster care, raped again by someone. So it's like, it's those things that break your heart. But even through all that, I'll say that humans are incredibly resilient. This based off of a camp for 6 to 12-year-old kids called Royal Family that we were directors of for 15 years, and now we're national trainers. But just knowing a 6-year-old is resilient, a 10-year-old, a 12-year-old, that it's like a rubber band, man. They want to bounce back to health and wellness, and they just need a light. And so if you look at our old school Covenant Community Services logo, it's an art version of a lighthouse. And that's all it is, a beacon of hope. Just that, hey, man, we'll be different. We'll show you, here's the safe harbor. Come over here. And we don't have all the promises.
Yeah, and that's something that young people need so much, especially that who you're dealing with, these kids. It's stuff like that wasn't around when I was a young man, and to see the effect of the care and the sincerity that you bring, and Kim and your staff, Jeff and Samantha and everybody involved, it's just amazing, because you see these young people, like you said, they go through this trauma, they go through these things, these situations that no child should ever go through, and then it's the repercussions that affects them mentally, affects them physically, and their outlook on life can be destroyed. And then you give this I call it a bridge, this bridge from the system, the foster care system. They're doing all that they can for these kids, and they're overwhelmed. And you make this bridge to help them to become reliant, self motivated, and have a career, have a vision, have hope, and have a means to take their life that was just so in shambles by people that they had no control over. And now they have control of their life, and they can do these things, and to see, like you said, the resilience to bounce back. I mean, talking to Alan, talking to Star, Rosemary, some of those young people that you work with, and it's heartbreaking, but it's the same time it's so uplifting to see that they have that. I'm still going to keep pressing forward and make something of my life. And what you provide, Covenant Community Services in Bakersfield, is so immensely needed. And we've said it before in other interviews that Randy and I had prior to the benefit and the local media, was that Randy, his staff, Covenant Community Services does everything. They do the legwork. They deal with the headaches. They deal with the state. They deal with the county. They deal with the caseworkers. They deal with everything that's involved that to help these kids. And all people need to do is just, hey, donate some money to help the cause. Just that's it. You don't have to worry about the headaches. You don't have to worry about any of that. Just help provide the funds so they can keep this going, helping these kids. And then, like I've said, for the political side of things, you get a productive taxpayer. Yay. So then they're happy on that side.
Yeah.
But more importantly, and which is extremely important, is that these kids have a life and a future, that they don't feel downtrodden anymore. They don't feel neglected anymore. They don't feel like nobody gives a crap about them anymore. And they have a vision and a hope. And these homes, oh my goodness. I tell you, when I was 18, if I could have had a nice suite like that, 1-bedroom suite, I'd been in heaven. I mean, it's really great what Randy and his staff have provided for these kids. And being a young person, I'll just say this real quick, and I'll turn it back over to Randy. A good friend of ours, Bobby Best, who was the opener for the Covenant Community concert that we had, and he made this statement that I thought was really interesting. He said, he told the audience that he was at a show, and I was there, and he told the audience about what we were doing. And he said this. He said, when I'm growing up, I got my mom, I got my dad. I still have my mom and my dad. I can go seek counsel. I've got a situation I'm frustrated with. I can say, Dad, how did you handle this? And he said, these kids don't have that. They literally don't have any of that. They're just, there you are in society. And what Covenant Community Services does is they provide that counsel and direction. They're not, I know Randy's not dictating to these kids, these young people, what they have to do, what they're going to do, but he provides that how would you say, netting, safety net to help them grow and give them some direction, give them some counsel. But it's great. I mean, I was very fortunate. It was just by divine intervention that I met Randy, and all this came about years ago. And I'm so excited about the future, helping these kids do what I can, what I went through as a child, and how I overcame a lot of things is because, like Randy said, that rubber band thing, that resilience, just keep coming back in spite of. And the doors opened up, these opportunities arose. And with my music, Aaron, you're a phenomenal bassist. You're my bassist in the band. We got a great band, and everything that we do, I feel like, was all meant for me to be able to come back and do something to help these kids, because that's, to me, my family. Spence, you just adopted him. Love that boy. And all that stuff is just, so I'll throw that in there, and then we'll throw it back at Randy and you.
Let's talk about the concert for a little bit.
Yeah, Jon, did you plan to have the whole cathedral archway behind your head so you look like St. John? Back up just a little bit. Right there,
No.
right there. There it is. Right there. Stop. Well, put it back in the middle. Right there.
Yeah, I know.
You're like from a Roman church or something, bro. Like, listen to St. John with his beard.
No,
But it looks pretty good.
I'm staying at.
He looks like the front of a salsa jar.
I'm staying a good friend of mine, Ed Hazard. He's a wonderful host, and he feeds me really well. This guy is a chef. He
Oh,
cooks some
good.
really good stuff.
Yeah, you'll
And
like it.
so this is the only spot I could find to set up without being too much glare. It's like I like to wear my readers, but then the lighting and everything, so I can see you
Yeah,
better. But
gotcha.
yeah. So the concert is something that we do every year, and our third year. We're going to do it again next year. It's going to be annual, and it's just to bring more awareness and attention to what Covenant Community Services is doing here in the community of Bakersfield, California, my hometown. I was born here in the county hospital and in the system here, so I'm very familiar with all of this, and it was just one of those things where I felt like what little notoriety I have in music, it's been something that's been a tremendous blessing and unforeseen, in all honesty. And I thought, well, you know what? I've got some of this. People know who I am now, and people will ask me why Orphan John, and I explain it to them. That's because I was an orphan. I'm an orphan and all that. But I felt like, hey, here's an opportunity. I always wanted to come back and help the foster youth because I have siblings that were foster youth, of course, and a lot of it has to do with the foster care systems doing their thing, but the aged out kids. That's really what I was interested in, and like I said, it was just divine intervention. It'd take too much time to go into details how this came about, but it literally was just by chance. My wife Stella, who's extremely supportive of everything I do music wise and in this endeavor, we just happened to come out to a coffee house. Loved the coffee. It wasn't Covenant Coffee. It was in the city of Shafter where we were at. Loved the coffee. Asked the young lady. She told us about Covenant Community Services and the coffee. And from there, it was like, oh wow. So I contacted Randy, and this thing took off. And it was just, I just want to help these kids, whatever little I can do, whatever I can do. I feel like that is actually now my life's purpose. I feel like that's why God blessed me with the vocals that I have, and whatever talent you can say I have in the music side is just say, hey, there's these kids. They need us, man.
Yeah.
They need us, and let's do
Listen,
what
You
we
should have
can.
coffee. Now's the time to be holding it up, saying sponsored by this podcast, brought to you by
yeah, right.
Orphan John Coffee.
Yeah, I
We
know. I
think
have I
You
have
want a
that. Oh,
bag?
I have that in the room, so I should have got it. I'm sorry.
Well, when you go on
so.
break
Is
or
this your
something,
major fundraiser?
after you're done being sick, you can
No,
maybe go get the bag
um,
of coffee and then tell people go to Covenant Coffee, buy
yeah,
this.
go to Covenant Coffee. Well, you know what? Let Aaron ask you what he just asked you. Can you give that answer? I'll go get it. I'll be right back.
There you go. There you go. No, I was wondering, is this like your major fundraiser every year?
No. We do a lot of stuff. Not we don't really market. We're not big on marketing, and we find the dignity of youth more important than you know putting somebody out to raise a dollar. So we don't really share stories. And if a youth
Gotcha.
does speak at all for us at one of our scholarship their children, because we don't, years ago, I thought, how can we restore lives and transform generations? We're helping the kid, but when they have children, they don't know what to do. Right. And so like I've got grandkids and we started a scholarship fund for them. Even if you start a little bit right now, by the time they go to school, it's and if they don't go to school, they go to a trade school or they go to start a business, but there's something there for them. So when a youth does speak, we seed that account for them. And so it's not our main fundraiser, but it is a way to raise awareness. And it's, to be honest with you, a different pocket of people we normally hang out with. So
I'd
to
imagine.
come to this event, other than our like board members or people that I might invite, it's really people I have no idea who they are. And that's the best way to do an event because
Well,
the
that's outreach.
awareness just cracks open.
Yeah.
And each one of those people then go and tell someone else about it. And this year we're going to be more strategic. I am on following met at that event. But I'll tell you this, we had a young girl there give her testimony and it was just very powerful. And I've heard her story before and she shared part of it. She shared a lot of stuff that was just incredible about her life, overcome and her failures and successes and her wins and losses. and the house was in tears. And honestly, I thought it was going way too long. At any moment, I'm like, got the sheep crooked and I'm ready to pull her off the stage, But
Start playing the
every
music.
time I was about ready to do that, she would say something incredibly powerful. And I was just blown away. So then I'm like, literally, and then crack open another nugget of wisdom. And I mean, she was talking to people in the crowd, not just about her life, but about their life and about stuff that if she's gone through this, then you can do that. And as humans, we can do this. And I was blown away. And just the cutest little thing and great personality. So no, it's not our major fundraiser. It's for us. We want to raise awareness always. Funding could be one part of it. We use the phrase give, pray, and go. So you can give money. That's the easiest thing to do because you don't have to. But you know how it is when you ask people to do something, they say, I'll pray about it. That basically means no in Christianese. So praying is harder than giving. And then going is harder than praying and giving because when you go, you're going to pray. And especially when you're surrounded by 40 foster kids, you need. So, we always want to raise that level of awareness, and Jon does a good job. And then the second thing is we like to have fun. And it's a great night, great food, great fellowship, and you get to hang out with people. I honestly did not get to enjoy most of the show because the engagement was so good. Somebody, and all they want to know about is what we're doing. And then that person would walk away, and then the next person would come up. And so I told Jon, I go, man, I didn't even get to see your set. And he's like, that's perfect, and he's right, because each one of those people I would have never connected with outside of that event. So great. It is part of our structure of events, and we moved it to March because it seemed to be more favorable. But this year we're going to be more strategic. I got a committee going, some folks that Jon knew and some other folks that were pretty good. So we're jumping on that. We're already start planning in about a week, just getting going, getting bands out, and keeping a local vibe. So I think it's going to be good. I think next year we'll probably need a bigger venue, which will be great. Keep Salty doing the barbecue. And but yeah, we do some other events. We've been doing it for so long. You'll get a kick out of this. Our first year anniversary. So that's how many banquets we do. Our very first one was after 20 years. So we don't really market or do anything like that, but this was great. We got a ton of press. Californian friend of ours wrote a nice article. The news stations put it out. We're on a radio show. So and then days after that, the LA Times story came out about what we do. And that was right when people's brains were still going, man, that was a great event. Can you believe that? And then wham, it hit. So
awesome.
We'll follow up with them and keep doing some things.
Well, I love the model, man. It sounds like sounds just like you've thought all the angles out. Sounds like we're really providing a family to these kids who have already aged out.
Yeah, we're trying. We got really good people working for us. That's the key. Hey, so you're the bass player for Jon when you guys travel?
Yep.
Cool. If I ever see you playing, just remember this, man. I'm a sucker for the Barney Miller theme.
Yeah.
That's the big heavy bass line right at the beginning.
Oh yeah.
I just watched that show just to hear the bass line. Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Then everything pops in. Yeah.
Well, we're gonna let you go because I know we know you're busy.
If you're good, I gotta get to. We're doing this is neat. I'll let you know why I'm going, but we're going to Cornerstone, the big church project, and so we had some other folks come by, and there's a group called Leadership Bakersfield where different business people through this leadership training for like 8 weeks, but they have to have a culminating project. So they chose our church to be the culminating project, not the church, but the grounds. And so we're going to put in one of those cool industrial level commercial playground sets for the 2 to 5 year old bracket that lives there. And then we're doing with the concrete guys. So I got to get there by 3.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
Awesome.
You're always busy, brother. I know that.
Well,
thank you, Randy, for joining us.
What you're doing and get this out there. Take care.
That's the coffee. That's the coffee, Orphan Jon. So yeah, we'll have the links. What was that?
You have hair in that one, right?
Well, yeah. Well,
On the label.
yeah. Well, I gotta get some for. There's a lot of friends
All-time
in
colors.
Wichita where I'm living now saying bring back some of this.
That's
So I'm gonna
Orphan
come by
Jon
the
as a
store
child, by the
tomorrow.
way. That's not Orphan
Yeah.
Jon now. That's Orphan Jon as a child.
No.
Our
No.
gang
Yeah.
right
Yeah.
there.
See that? All right. But thank you for
Bye,
being with
guys.
us, Randy. It means a lot. Everything you're doing. We'll get the
Oh,
links
man.
out. Let everybody know where you can get the copy, where you can go to support, donate, and all of that. So appreciate you being with us, Randy. You guys
Thank
are
you guys.
doing
Just know that,
amazing
man.
things.
Together we're changing stats. We're changing. It
Yeah.
just takes a little bit of
Yeah.
somebody to move the needle, and that one person can make all the difference. So thank you guys for being that.
That's true. All right. Thanks, Randy. Appreciate it. We'll see you soon. Well, that was great. Are you there, Aaron? You there?
Yep, I'm
There
here. We
you
had a
are.
little so I got Danielle and I got Kim coming on.
Yeah, 4:30. Are we there? Oh,
Is
we
this
are
gonna work?
there. Wow. Wow. Time
Hello.
flies. It's like hey there.
Hi.
That was quicker
Aaron,
than I
I missed
expected. It was like,
you.
whoa. We're already, I told Randy, I said, I figured 10, 15 minutes, 30 max, and then we went right to the max,
Yeah, we
down
went
to the
right there.
wire.
I
Yeah,
got
well, thank you, ladies, for joining us. I'm going to put my
Thank you
glasses
for
on real quick so I can. Okay, there you are. I'm blind. So um, I'm Jon English. So we've been talk with Danielle. And
Yeah.
so before we get all into this, thank you for being with us. These are two young ladies that are involved in the Casa of Sedgwick County. Sedgwick County is the county that Wichita in the state of Kansas is located in. And that's where I live now. I reside in Wichita and I love it there. I'll never leave it. Other than for like the benefit we just talked about. That's why I'm in California doing my thing here. But thank you for being with us. And Aaron, you're better at this wordsmithing, asking questions than I am. I'll just start rambling. So I'll let you take over.
I want to say hi, Danielle. How are you?
Hi. Good. How are you?
I haven't seen you in a while. You doing all right?
Yeah, I saw you in the parade.
Oh, excellent. Yep, we
Yes.
were live podcasting from the parade. I got a
Yes,
rig
I
now.
saw that.
Taking the truck, and we
Oh.
can podcast from anywhere. So that's what we're
Yeah.
doing now. I think we're running into bandwidth issues, so bear with us a little bit. But
Okay.
yeah, we'll do it up. Kim, welcome to the show.
No.
This is Backseat Therapy. We need you guys to be the actual professionals because me and Jon just kind of play music and have a bit
Yeah.
of experience in this.
Kim's
Jon
the
has,
professional. I'm just here. No.
yeah, that's how I feel a lot of times. I'm just kind of here. But yeah, so
So,
let's explain what CASA is. CASA.
Yes.
Yeah,
So,
you guys do it. I'll get it wrong.
okay, it is an acronym. So CASA stands for Court Appointed Special Advocates. So do you want the whole spiel?
yes,
Okay.
it's court appointed
Uh-huh.
special advocates for children, right?
Yep.
What
Serving children in foster care. Yeah.
in
So
foster care?
CASA is national. There's a national organization. So it's in 49 of the 50 states have CASA programs. They operate differently state to state, but here in Kansas, we are a completely volunteer-based service. So we in Sedgwick County, we serve just all of Sedgwick County, all of the kids that are in care here in Sedgwick County. But there are other districts that serve multiple counties that have CASA programs, and any program in Kansas is volunteer based. And so we're all recruiting just community members who care about kids, who want to make a difference in the life of a child in foster care. And they're appointed by the judge on the case to serve that child and to advocate for their best interest.
So when you say advocate, so they're not lawyers. What does that entail? Advocating for the child.
Yeah, that's right. They're not attorneys. So it's anyone, there's no background, education, experience requirement to be a CASA. You just have to be a caring individual who basically the most important thing is being a consistent presence in the child's life. So these children have so many people who come and go out of their lives. It's a revolving door of professionals and caregivers, and therapists and their schools change. So there's just constant change and movement in their lives. And so our goal as Casa is to provide a caring adult who is consistent and stable and shows up no matter what. If they move frequently, that this person is showing up at each placement and saying, I'm still here for you, and explaining things to them. So the advocate piece, the advocacy really comes in. Our volunteers write reports to the court. And so they're collecting information on the child and their situation and the reason that they came into the foster care system, what's going on with their family, just any pertinent information to this child's life and to their well-being. And they're taking that information and putting it into a court report so that the judge who's making the most important decisions for this kid can have all of the information that they need to make a good decision and the right decision. And so in their reports, CASAs can talk about, we have a whole section about the child's perspective. So a whole entire, sometimes full page of our report is dedicated to what's going on with them specifically and what they want. And so it's really giving them a voice in the situation, which is pretty unique, because in a lot of these cases, if there's not a CASA involved, it's a case team, and they do have an attorney that is legally, I don't know that advocating is the right word, but legally looking out for their best interest in the courtroom. But in Sedgwick County anyways, our caseloads are so high that those attorneys serve sometimes more than 200 children at a time. And so a lot of times they've never even had the time to meet the child in person. So they're just reading reports that are given to them. And so if you don't have a report, like a CASA report that talks specifically about the child, sometimes you just don't even know that they don't fully understand the person that they're dealing with and the life they're going to change. So.
And I get that. Because when I was a foster kid, we didn't have CASA back when I was a young child, and we never felt like anybody knew anything about what we were.
Yeah.
And the caseworkers are overwhelmed because the system, it's just the way it is, sadly. Yeah. And they have all these cases, and they're just picking us up, taking us to the next home, and that's it. So this is a wonderful thing that you're doing with CASA, that these children feel like they are somebody. Yeah. They have a relationship with this advocate, which is great, because now they feel like, okay, here is somebody who really cares about me. Mm-hmm. And that means a lot to a young child. I could, from my own experience, I got to the place where I didn't feel like anybody gave a crap about me. And I acted out in means and in ways because of that. Yeah. But this is amazing. My mother-in-law, Linda Wright, was involved in CASA in Bakersfield here in my hometown. Mm-hmm. So I was familiar with it, but I didn't know everything that was involved. And that's why we're going to talk about the benefit fundraiser coming up in April here in a second. But that was part of the reason why Aaron and I are like, hey, let's get with Danielle and you and see if we can have you come on to explain to the people, because probably most people have no idea. They've heard the term CASA, but they don't really know what it's about. And this is why we wanted to have you on to explain it and talk about what you're doing.
I have a question about this too. So I have a kid right now in my care who is an emergency placement, and he's just now getting into the system. Mm-hmm. So would a lawyer, or does the judge, or who reaches out to you and says, I have a at-risk child here that really needs somebody in his corner as far as this legal mumbo jumbo, right? Like who gets you guys on board?
Yeah, so that's a good question. So here in Sedgwick County, and it varies, like I said, there's CASA's programs in 49 states, and so they all kind of operate a little bit differently. But here, we are referral based, and so the court can make direct orders for us to have volunteers appointed, but typically we operate off of someone involved in the case coming to our office, just contacting us and saying, we think that this child needs a CASA. And so then we take some information, fill out a referral form, it gets approved by the court, and then we can appoint a volunteer. And so it really can be anyone in the child's life. We were just talking earlier about a school counselor that's reached out about some children that she's serving. So
So I really am asking for me, because the kid, the kids from a different county, I'll say, and so does CASA work like that? Like, because he came down here because no one there could take him emergency placement wise, which I find crazy to me. But nobody in this huge metropolitan area can take him, so let's move him counties away. Let's drive 3 hours now to put him with somebody that can take him.
So that sounds like his case originated from a different county. So whatever judicial district he's going to court
That's
in.
where we need to find the CASA.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Because him just now coming into care, it's like, I just want to save this kid so much trouble. I want to do all the things that we can right up front, just so.
And that really is the best time to get CASAs involved. So we can get involved at any point in a case, and a lot of times here, I'll talk about the numbers for a minute. So right now in Sedgwick County, we have 1,300 kids in the foster care system. So that's huge. That's a lot. It's over 20% of the total kids in care in Kansas are in Sedgwick County.
Oh, wow.
So we do not have enough volunteers to serve even, I think we're like at 5% of the total kids who could use a CASA, because we just don't have the volunteer numbers to serve them. So with just our referral process, it typically looks like us getting assigned to the highest needs cases at the most critical point. So instead of doing any kind of prevention or getting involved on that front end, we're getting involved at when things have kind of blown up or just got really difficult.
You're cleaning up the ashes after the fire, really.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, Aaron, off air, if you want to tell us what county, we can try to put you in contact with somebody. Definitely, we can try to help you make that connection for that county.
Yeah.
Definitely. We will have to do that.
Okay, we'll talk.
And so, if the public wants to help out, someone in the general public says, "I want to help in this cause," they go to your website. It's Casa of Sedgwick County.org, and they can find through there the means to contact you and see about becoming an advocate. That's the process?
Yep, absolutely. There's a really simple to fill out online application that goes directly to Danielle, and she reaches out as soon as one of those is complete and schedules all of the next steps.
Yeah, the only real requirements are they over the age of 21 and able to pass a criminal background check. So
that makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah, of course. So pretty extensive checks, but there's no like work background that you need to have certain educational background, because we can do all that as long as you have a heart for helping children.
About how many hours a week would you say these advocates are working or volunteering?
Once you get through training, the training process is about 30 hours. But we have a new like guided learning, so it's more on your own time. Once you get through training, we say it's about 5 to 10 hours a month. So,
not a huge.
No, it's really not.
Anybody should be able to fit that into a schedule, right?
Yeah, and it's really scheduled based on the volunteers' availability. So there are some things like, of course, court, case plan meetings, some things that you do with the child that are scheduled. But outside of those, you're just making contacts and having visitation with the child whenever you can in your schedule.
Yeah, so the scope of the problem seems so big that I think people might imagine that, I'd love to volunteer, but I don't have the time for all of that. So so that's really encouraging. 5-10 hours a month can actually make quite a bit of a difference.
Right.
And so they, sorry, I was going to say, so the advocate would work with like the foster parent, I would assume, and schedule times to come out and visit with the child, and is that the
Yeah.
normal?
Yeah, so our only requirement for time once a volunteer gets started on a case is that they see the child in person once every 30 days. So outside of that, they are making whatever contacts that they want to or that they see necessary. And then with the child visitation, we let our volunteers transport, so pick kids up and take them out to do activities in the community. If a child's 8 years old or older, we don't want to worry about like car seats and stuff for little kids. Right. But if they're older, they can pick them up and take them out. And that's really when those relationships become really close and trusted. And when they're getting to take them out into just a normal environment and do normal everyday activities with them and get to know them outside of their placement setting. So, but yeah, they just schedule those visits with the foster home or placement, whatever that looks like. And they can go pick them up or go to the home and see what their environment is like there in the home. We like them to do that too, just to make sure that things are okay and that they're, being treated well in whatever placement they're in and that their needs are being.
But that's important. I that's one of the aspects of what you provide that really, to me personally, is extremely important. Because when I was a child in foster homes, we were talking to Randy Martin with Covenant Community Services prior, and there are some homes that they're just not in it to help the kids, and there's other things that take place, and not to say that that's all foster homes, because it's not. It's not that. But there are those situations that just happens. And when I was a child, we would tell the caseworker would talk to the foster parent, oh, he's just lashing out because we ground him from TV because he's misbehaving. It's like, there's incidents. What I love about Casa is because those situations that I had to deal with, I deal with to this day. And I have brothers, I have sisters that are in the system, all of us. And it can be so detrimental in a lot of aspects of one's life, and in companionships, in acceptance, and all of this. And the Casa, what you provide through Casa, is really a barrier, I think, from those situations ever arising, because that foster home knows there's an advocate that's going to be caring about this child, it's going to be checking in on this child, going to be having conversations with the children. And so it eliminates, I feel like it really eliminates a lot of things that could go wrong immediately out of the scene. And again, like I said, I'm not trying to be disparaging towards foster parents, not at all. Love them, they're necessary. Thankful that we have families that are willing to open up their homes to help these kids. It's just sometimes you get those situations, and it's great what you're doing. This organization, like I said, 49 states. That's amazing. I know California has one, of course, and it's just great that you're providing this much, very needed advocate for these children. That's for sure. And so,
what brought on the Battle of the Bands?
Let's get into that. How'd that happen?
That was Danielle's idea. She started with our program in October of last year. And just right away was like, hey, I have this idea. And I said, that sounds scary, something we've never done before, but really cool. Let's do it. So I'll let you talk about Battle of the Bands.
Yeah. I was just trying to think of different ways for community engagement. That's a big goal. We've been in Sedgwick County for 43 years, and there are so many people in Sedgwick County that don't know we exist. So just how do we get our name out there, and how do we raise money? So I just thought about how much Wichita turns out for music. I mean, Wichita it seems to be a big music town, city, whatever you want to call it.
Yes. That's why I moved here.
Yeah. So I just thought that could be a great way to get our name out there, and just to get people engaged in a fun way, that like people that wouldn't normally go to fundraisers might come to a concert, So yeah, we started working on that in October. Obviously for a first fundraiser, that's not a lot of time, So, um,
Always
but
happens like that, doesn't it?
yeah,
So do you
works
have the
better under
lineup yet?
pressure.
Do you have the
What?
lineup yet?
We do. So we have sometimes on Sunday, they will be the first band, just Tori and the gang. They'll be second. Orphan Jon and the Abandoned will be third. Right? That's what we talked about, right?
Yeah.
They'll be last.
Would you put us wherever you need us?
I think
And
maybe they
Aaron
were
and I
last.
talked about. Yeah,
Yeah.
Aaron and I talked. Oh, I'm sorry. You said I interrupted you. Who was last?
Okay, I think actually you were last. Jet City is third. I think
Oh,
I had
okay.
you closing it out strong.
Oh,
So
okay.
I have to go back and look at my notes there. So those are the four bands that we will have.
And this is at Wave, right?
And this is that Wave.
April
April
13th.
Yes, the way.
I'm trying to remember
April
details.
13th, doors open at
And-
5. Is that right?
Yep.
Yeah,
Starts at
I wrote
6.
them down. I made notes and I forget. No.
That's okay.
Yes, it's at the way. Yeah, and the show it's so you said opens at 5, starts
Mhm.
at 6.
Mhm.
It's on Saturday, April 13th.
Yes.
So this podcast, hey everybody, we'll be telling you about this right now. So just so you know, we're in the future now.
Yes.
So it's going to be this Saturday. We'll
Oh,
be
yeah.
Well, that's just really scary.
because we're airing this the 11th. So this is, we're airing this the 8th. The 8th? I think it's 8th.
Okay.
Anyway, the Monday prior to the event. So that's why we wanted to have you. We want to get the word out too. And Aaron hit me up about this. He sent me a message. Said, hey, this, Casa Sedgwick, because he knows, dealing with foster system,
Mhm.
his adopted son, and this emergency situation he's dealing with. And then knowing my life and background and everything, he's like, hey, this is something you think we'd like to do? And I'm like, I'm totally for that. That's
Yeah.
something I'm always going to be on board. And the bands are volunteering. It's all just come out and, like you said, bring awareness. And Aaron and I were like, we're just going to go have fun and enjoy the other bands, enjoy everybody, and being there and really get the word out. And I'll be honest with you, I could care less if we win. That's not what I'm doing it for. I want to make sure people, like you said, because 43 years is a long time, and have a community that's not really fully understanding what you're doing, and it's no knock on you. It's just people's living their lives. Things are going on. And Wichita, that's a great idea because Wichita does have an amazing, thriving entertainment and arts community. That's just, I love it. I love being in Wichita because of all of that too. It's just, and I want to add one little thing real quick and then I'll turn it back over to you. So in Bakersfield, my hometown here, they have this event that started similar, kind of like what you're doing, as in infancy. And what it was, they called it Village Fest. It was called Brews in the Village at the beginning, and then they changed to Village Fest. And it's a big event fundraising for Casa here in Bakersfield. This thing has grown. I think it's in this coming up on its 28th year. It's literally, and I'm not kidding you, tens of thousands of people come out to this event. They promote it as the party of the year. I mean, it is. They have 5 stages. They have 15 bands, 3 at each stage, rotating throughout the night. They have everything's volunteered. They have all the restaurants volunteer. They come out and set up. Of course, it has to do with beer and wine and all. It's a brews fest. Like I said, it's called Village. Well, anyways, I'm getting off track, but it's a great event, and I'm just saying that because what you're doing, it can grow, and it's just letting these people know. People love being entertained. People love coming out, and especially for a good cause. And who wouldn't want to help some children in need? That's in what you provide, and I think this is just a wonderful idea, and it'll grow and grow. And the Wave, God bless them for opening up their doors so you can have it there. That's a very great. It's an outstanding venue to have it at, and I think that's awesome. And I see Valhalla Media is your sponsor, so
They are
thank you, Valhalla.
Yes, thank you, Valhalla. They are donating, and I haven't told the bands this because a lot of the bands are like, we don't care about the competition part.
Yes,
But the winner
that's
does get
musicians.
yeah, the winner does get an audio video recording session with Valhalla.
Wait,
So
Oh, that's very nice of them.
yeah,
That's
so
very kind of them.
it is very nice. Jared from The Wave organized that for us.
We can
So-
definitely use that.
See?
We got some exposure. We got
And,
some, yeah.
So that will be determined by the voting will be monetary, of course, to help raise more money. So the band that
Yeah, there
raises
you
the
go.
most money will be the
Yeah.
audience choice. I couldn't think of the
That'll be the winner. So it's
Yeah,
all good. It's
the
for a
winner.
great cause. It's for a great cause,
Yeah.
and I love the idea. Like I said, the venue's outstanding to have it at, and
Mhm.
we're going to help. Aaron and I are going to do everything we can. We're going to get the word out. We both have. Aaron has a huge following. That's for sure. So we got friends in Kansas City. We got friends in Topeka. We got friends in Hutchinson. We got friends throughout Kansas itself and Wichita that we're going to be hitting up and letting them know. Come out, have 4 great bands and enjoy an evening knowing that while you're there, you are helping the cause to help these children. And I think this is great.
Yes.
So,
I think you're on the right track. It's awareness. People need to know about it.
mhm, it is.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, and we tied it in. Kim's idea was to have it in April because it is Child Abuse Prevention Month. So
Yeah.
so that really ties in with the awareness also. So that was kind
Yeah.
of the reason for the shorter deadline was to have it during Child Abuse Prevention Month.
We
Yeah,
do a
that's great.
diaper jam on 420 this year. We're doing diaper jam, and that's kind of the same thing. We raise diapers during Child Abuse Awareness Month. We raise diapers for. Well, I'm going to mess up the thing, but it's a children's home, Wichita Children's Home. That's what
Yeah, amazing.
we're raising
Yeah,
diapers. We've been raising about 20,000 diapers a year.
Oh wow,
cool.
So
that's awesome. Diapers are
Every
expensive.
bit helps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you both coming on and taking the time to explain to us everything that's going on and what you're doing at Casa. We really appreciate it. And you both are our second guest. We had Randy's our first guest we ever had. You guys are our second, so we're happy about that.
Awesome. Thank
And
you so
and we'll definitely be in touch. We want to do more of this and help you continue to get the word out because it's like you said, it's awareness. Once people find out and they know what's going on, there's a lot of giving people in society that love to help out the children, and children need it, especially in the foster homes, immensely. So,
Right.
thank you so much, Aaron.
Yeah.
Thank you.
yeah, definitely. Danielle, definitely get a hold of me. I need to know some stuff about Casa for my emergency plan. I just don't want
Okay.
to
Yeah, for
And
sure.
then we're going to put out.
wrong track here, So.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Danielle. I interrupted you.
Oh no, go ahead.
I was going to say, and also we're going to put up the links and everything so people can find you, the website and all that, so they can contact you if they want to become an advocate, which I think is just immensely noble to do to help these kids. And so, again, thank you for having us. Having us. I've done a lot of interviews. I'm confused. Thank you for coming on with us today. And God bless you both and everybody there at Casa. And again, this is a nonprofit organization, so we need funds. That's how they help these kids. It's not state run, it's not county run, it's nonprofit. We need folks help out.
I always say it like this: you can either give Uncle Sam your money at the end of the year, or you can write all of it off.
Right.
Yeah, that's it. And you know where it's going.
Yeah,
You know where it's going. You know what that money's being used for. That's the other side of it. Exactly. So thank you, Kim. Thank you, Danielle. Appreciate you being with us.
Yes, thank you so much for having us. And we are looking forward to the event and seeing you guys play.
April 13th, Saturday, April 13th, 6 p.m. And you can find all this on Facebook. I've seen it on the social media. It's on Facebook. Tickets are $20 general admission. And there's a t-shirt thing going on where it's $38. You get a t-shirt too. So that's a good deal. If you're military or a student, it's $15 again. And so that's a good deal too. God bless our military.
Discounts.
Discounts.
Yes. And waveict.com. You can get all the tickets there.
Beautiful.
There you go.
How much are tickets?
All right. Thank you guys so
They're
much.
$20. Their general's 20.
Bet.
So,
All right, guys.
okay.
Well, thanks again. We will talk to you soon.
All right.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Take it easy.
Bye.
See ya.
Well, that was
That
fun.
was great. Yeah. Our first guest. 3 of them. Knocked them out of the ballpark.
I was experiencing some technical stuff. I hope we don't have a whole lot of that technical stuff on the end screen, but we're gonna do our best with it, man. If we have to run that through post,
Yeah. I think honestly, I think it's more about my earbuds. I really do. I think that's what it is.
I think I can fix the bandwidth. I'm feeling it might have been a bandwidth issue, and I think I can fix it.
Yeah. As long as what on your side everybody's clear, that's all that matters to me.
Hey, episode 2. You about to wrap it?
Yeah, man, it's been great. I'm happy we're doing this, and I love the idea of bringing in these guests. I love the idea of you and I talking about my childhood and growing up, my experiences, which we did episode 1. That's going to continue on in the next forthcoming episodes. But this is something important, and like I said, this is dropping. Let me see. I'm pretty sure I had it down. I want to say it's April 8th, and that's going to be the Monday before the event. So this way people can see, hey, all right, we'll come out to this. And April 8th. And so it's the 13th. So I love it. I love the idea that bands are so open to, let's go to help these kids, let's help the cause. It's just amazing. That's what I love about Wichita. I'll tell everybody here in Bakersfield, I'm always getting asked that question, why Wichita? That's why. The arts and entertainment, all the musicians, you, Phil, Ryan, Kobe, T-Roy.
I think a lot of people get surprised at like who actually lives in Wichita. I mean, so this is in the middle of the country, if you look at it, right?
Yeah.
In the middle of the country. Arguably one of the cheapest cost of living in the country, like per capita, or and so I've met like Aerosmith's front of house engineer here.
Yeah,
he lives here now. There's a Jim Henson puppeteer that lives here.
Yeah,
and these guys can fly to New York or LA. They can fly anywhere they need to go in the country. It's about the same dime,
right?
About a $400 flight, probably. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's
live cheap.
That's part of the reason why I settled on didn't settle. But one of the reasons I love the idea of moving to Wichita was because of that. It is central.
Yeah,
travel for me, it's 1,400 miles to the West Coast and about 1,400 miles to the East Coast. So it works out good. And but what I really love about it is just everybody there is just amazing people, fun to be around. I don't, it's a different world, that's for sure, compared to the coastal cities. Nothing against the coastal cities, but for me personally, I love living in the Midwest, and it's just great. I can't wait to get back.
Yeah,
I'll tell you that right now. I've been out here. It's going on my 3rd week, and I'm about crazy. I need to get back.
How hot is Baco right now?
Oh, it's been beautiful. I'll give you that. It's been in the low 70s. It's been perfect. We had St. Patty's Day yesterday. Hung out on the patio here. My good friend Ed Hazard, I mentioned earlier. He's a wonderful host. He fixed up the whole. I mean, this guy, he fixed everything. He homemade house Caesar salad dressing. He makes it himself.
All right, man. I'm on my way.
It is. Yeah, dude. I'm telling you. I told Stella. I said I have got to bring you guys out here. If anything, just to come out here and for a week. I think 1 week is all we can handle because of the sinuses, the valley and everything. But have you guys come out here and meet all these people? And Ed, like I said, Ed Hazard's a great guy, and I love him to death. And he puts up with me, and while I'm here for a while. And then eventually, my plan is too. I want to bring you guys out for the benefit.
Yeah,
I want to have you guys at the benefit, and like Randy had mentioned earlier, it's growing. Where people are interested in being on the committee, and that's what I tell them. We talked about the infancy. You've given me that sound advice too before. Start off small, handle what you can handle, and let it grow. naturally, and it does. And in this third year, so many more people now
Oh,
came
yeah.
out. So many more people are like, "Hey, what can we do to help? I wasn't aware of this. Thank you for what you're doing. Thank you, Covenant Community Service, and all that." And that's what I want to see happen too. And like both of us do with Casa there in Sedgwick County, is what they're doing. It's just these kids. These kids, they need this
Work
help.
that needs to be done, man. I mean,
Yeah,
and yeah, I hate that there's such a demand that it just seems like it's never going to be met, you know. But
yeah.
but we got to slave away at it, man. We got to get it done. So
Well, it's
that's why we're here.
what's it that little thing about the drop that hits the boulder? Just
Yeah, yeah,
the water just constantly, and eventually that boulder cracks. It's the same kind of concept. It's breaking that cycle. We talked about with Randy, where you have these children, because I went through it, and it's like you have to have that decision in your own mind as that foster child, aged out foster youth, that you come to a point where you're like, I don't want my future or my children's future to be what my past was. I want to blaze my own trail. And that's what it is. It's that right there. It's just, this is the situation, folks. But here's how we can help change that situation: is that drop, that just constant drop on that boulder that changes the path that this child could be going in, that's in a very bad negative direction, and turn them and have them start going in a very good positive direction.
yep,
And the advocates at Casa, when she said how they interact with them, they're there for them through the whole time they're in the system. That's huge to
yep,
have that anchor, that emotional anchor, knowing, oh, there's somebody that does care about me, and if something don't feel right, I can talk to them. That's
yep.
great, and
A
that
huge,
helps turn that tide.
and I hope that efforts like or Covenant Community Services, efforts like Casa, efforts like our podcast, I'm hoping that this can inspire some people to become involved. Um,
Hmm.
take on a couple of those raindrops, like you're saying. If we can all just do a couple of little bits here and there, man. I mean, you can spread it out as much as you want, but the rain has to keep coming,
That's
and
it.
and we just have to
Yeah,
keep doing it. So
consistency. Yeah,
yeah. So
and
thanks for watching. Do you want to wrap up? I just heard you. There's a little bit of a delay, right?
oh no, I said I was actually going to say go ahead and take it away and send us off, Aaron. I mean, that's what I was going to say.
Okay. But yeah, thanks everybody for watching. And yeah, a couple great organizations today. I think Randy's really onto something over there with Covenant Community Services. I mean, I like the idea of an apartment complex that they have purchased for this. That becomes a family at some point,
Mhm.
and then people have their work family, and so he's got that lined out too. So really, he is
Yeah.
providing
Oh,
a framework, man. It's
it's
still
something he didn't mention, but when I took the tour, this to me I think is important to a lot of people, just public at large. When I took the tour, and I've got pictures and stuff and some video that we'll provide. There is a requirement. I asked the person that's over the building situation, Samantha. I said, "Hey, so I'm just curious. These kids, are they required to find a job, have employment?" She goes, "Yes, that is part of the requirement of accepting them into this housing, and that's important. And because that's something they need to do. Be responsible. Get a job, and those life skills that Covenant Community Service is there to help provide and teach them and be there with them and
yeah,
walk them through it. But that's so good. They got this amazing, nice little one bedroom suite, and it's fully furnished. It's got a stove, it has refrigerator, it has everything. It's not
yeah.
like it's just an apartment. They got to go out and get it. They have these packages they give them when they move in. It's a great. It eliminates so much stress and anxiety for these young people when they're aged out.
Well, I love
Now
the
they have a place to stay.
I love the model. I hope that can be a
Yeah,
model that repeats all over this country. I mean, that would just be an amazing resource for everybody.
it would be. It would.
And
It make a change. It can make a tremendous change. I've seen in the young people I met with, like Randy said, we set it up every Friday before the benefit, the Friday before, and we'll have a luncheon, and I get to be with them one on one, and talk to them. I give them a little insight about who I am, what I'm doing, why I'm there, And then more importantly, I ask them, first I'll ask them to have any questions, and they always have the questions, which is, I love. We're interacting, and there's so much similarities that the questions are relating to something they went through or have been, or are going through, and it's similar to what I went through. So there's that camaraderie kind of thing, because of the abuse that took place. There's a connection, and it helps, and it helps me too, because I feel good knowing that these kids are getting what they're getting through Covenant Community Services and through Casa. And then to have that connection and to see the positive energy and everything in their eyes, in their mannerisms, in their speech. They're not downtrodden. They're not like, oh, woe is me, feeling sorry for themselves. They are fired up and excited about the fact that, hey, I have control of my life now, and I'm going to do something with it that's in the right direction, a positive direction. And it's great, man. And that's what I love about what Covenant does. They're giving these kids. They can't get them all. That's what sucks. They can't get them all. He's only dealing with 120 right now. But if it can grow through the community awareness and donations and all that, because again, they're nonprofit as well, then there's more children, there's more young people that can help.
Well,
the statistics.
Let's do 120 kids in every major city in the U.S.
Right? Exactly. Let's go. Yeah. And the statistics are overwhelming that a vast majority of the homeless community are aged out foster youth.
Yeah.
A good portion of. So when you see that kid,
Easy.
that young man or young lady, and they look all scruffy and everything, they come up to you at the Circle K or they come to you at the QT and, hey, can you got any money or whatever they're doing, and you just look down on them and think, oh man, you're young. What the hell's wrong with you? Why don't you get a job? It's a lot of times it's just that they've been aged out, and now life's come crashing down on them again. That abandonment feeling, that lost feeling is there again. No direction, no guidance, no safety net. Now they got to try to figure out how to do it on their own. They have no life. They really don't have any life skills at all.
Yeah.
Like Bobby Best said, they don't have a mom and dad to go to and seek counsel and help. Exactly. And they they're on the streets. And what happens is they seek refuge and solace in either a companionship through prostitution, because they got to survive, they got to eat, or they seek solace through illegal substances, because they can't handle the reality that here I am again in this situation that nobody gives a rat's ass about me. And then they go off the deep end. And then they become, for the political side of things, the burden to society. And so what Covenant and Casa are doing, Casa's starting in the foster system during the foster care years that those kids are in as an advocate, positive with them while they're going through this situation. And then you have organizations like Covenant, they're saying, okay, they're in contact with the caseworkers. They're fixing to come out. They meet with these kids, and now they're going to help them transition into an adult responsible life so they don't wind up on the streets.
Yeah.
And that's it. Like I said earlier, they're doing all the work. Casa, Covenant Communities, they're doing all the work, all the headache.
They need support. They need help.
They need support. Yeah. And that's it. It's just, I love these people. Just, man, like I said, I would have been great if they were around when I was a kid, but they didn't. But thank God they're around now and doing what they're doing. I mean, it's just absolutely good people. And if you're helping children in need like this, that's it. I think nothing but positive things would be in your life ahead. So anyways, we can keep going on this, which we will. We'll revisit some things in future episodes.
Of course we will. This is only episode 2. There's a huge
amount to go
through, isn't it? So.
Yeah, there is.
There is. I want you to enjoy California, have fun at the show. Yeah. And be heading out to the Blues Fest here before long. This coming weekend in Lake Havasu, so that's going to be fun. Playing the Woody Stock Blues Festival there with my good friend Alistair Green. And, it's going to be around.
Good to see him. Yeah, it's going to be good to see him. And then heading home to Mostella. Of course, by the time this airs, I'm already home with Mostella. All right, brother.
All right, brother. Well, I appreciate you. Everybody who's watching, I appreciate you guys checking it out.
Thank you so much.
Give some thought to how you can support, and let's make
a difference.
Let's make a difference.
Yeah, make a difference.
All right, guys.
Thank you, everyone. We'll see you on the next episode.
Little boy playing in the street. Worn clothes, no shoes on his feet.